Dr. Colleen Fogarty, the department chair for the University of Rochester Department of Family Medicine, is back with us. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning, Mark.
Really important topic here, one that people need to understand maybe a little bit better than they do, contact tracing for COVID-19. Let's begin by explaining exactly how it works.
Yes, so contact tracing is a very important tool from the public health standpoint to help stop the spread or curb the spread of the COVID-19 infection. So what will happen is when a patient tests positive, their name is released to the health department, and then health department officials can contact that person to find out anybody else that they may have been in contact with.
All right, and when they contact those other people, they don't disclose the name of the person who may have exposed them, correct?
That's correct. This is a confidential and anonymous process, and the real point is not to blame people, but to help understand potential exposures and people who may need to be warned that they may be coming down with the virus themselves.
What defines close contact?
So close contact is somebody who has been within 6 feet of the infected person in the 2 days prior to or after their diagnosis.
And here's the question that I wanted to follow up on that with. Does the amount of time someone's been in the vicinity of that person matter? Say a minute versus an hour?
So the amount of time does matter, but from the standpoint of the public health tracing, close contact isn't necessarily defined by the amount of time.
All right, and if you've determined through contact tracing that you have potentially been exposed, what then next? What happens?
So the public health worker will contact you to find out what are your symptoms, and if it's possible to get a test, to recommend testing, and they will also recommend quarantining. If the person does not have symptoms of the infection, the quarantine is important because the virus can manifest within several days. So the initial test could be negative and you still may be carrying the virus. So quarantine is for people who are not necessarily sick or symptomatic, for them to stay apart so that they don't accidentally transmit the infection unknowingly to someone else.
And if that person does test positive, then what?
Then the term is called isolation, and that is important for a known person with infection to stay apart from others, including in the home, ideally staying in a separate room, using a separate bathroom facility to avoid exposing other members of the household to the infection.
And of course, if that person tests positive, the process starts all over again with contact tracing, right?
That's right. And that's why contact tracing is so important, because we want to prevent the exponential rise of the infection and try to flatten that curve like we talked about in the spring.
Sure. Doctor, thank you. We'll leave it there. As always, we appreciate your insight.
Thank you.
If you missed any of this conversation, it's online as well at rochesterfirst.com.